All right, make sure I look good. All right. All right. So we are live. This is the Mentorship Masters Roundtable Meetup. Okay. And so I just wanted to kind of make a couple of announcements and let you guys know what in the heck we're doing. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. Like, what's going on here? So you remember, and actually, this is some notes from our last class that we just had, and you guys are actually part of both classes. So now we're going to have instead of, I know, it's more stuff, but now we're going to have two classes every Thursday instead of just one class. You can go to either one, or you can go to both. It's up to you. Um, and they'll be topical, so you can kind of pick and choose the ones that you think are appropriate. Now, what we did as a group, just for you guys that are just coming up to speed on this, um, through COVID-19, we've opened up the training that we do to everybody, but we're not opening up Mentorship Masters to everybody because Mentorship Masters is our revenue share group that I have at EXP. It's our group. So it's our family group. We're never going to really open that up to anybody unless they're part, like that's by invitation only. You guys invite them or they're invited by somebody else into Mentorship Masters and they get in that way. But because of COVID-19 and I say COVID-19, really I'm being obedient. I got the call to go ahead and help more people. And so we started Knolly Success Coaching, okay, which is a completely different group, Knolly Success Coaching, than Mentorship Masters, okay? So that's something but essentially what we've done is we've taken because usually at Mentorship Masters, I do training, okay? So I do a lot of training with you guys. We've been going through success with listings step by step. And we kind of put the kibosh on it and say, wait a minute, we got to deal with this. We got another crisis here. We got to go help with the cleanup, help with that. So we're doing that now. But essentially, if you can think about it this way, I took the training that you guys are so used to me doing here at Mentorship Masters, and I took the training piece and I brought it over to Knolly Success Coaching, okay? Along with, they're going to have accountability partners and all that as well. So now with you masters, I get to do more inside stuff like, help you, coach you to your ultimate greatness. So there is a difference between the two groups. Uncle Knolly had to step up to the plate and help people. So Knolly Success Coaching is for any agent in any franchise, anywhere. And it's also open to business owners, entrepreneurs. They've been greatly affected by this as well. So it's just open. They can join. They go to knolly.com, sign up for free coaching. It's free forever. We'll never charge for it. So you need to make sure that you're inviting people to Knolly Success Coaching, right? Because that's kind of a place where they can, learn more about, my training and my style and all that. And then later on, if they want to join Mentorship Masters, they can talk to you about that specifically. Now, what are we going to talk about here? So I've got kind of already outlined, and Artemis and I were just kind of chatting this up a little bit as well. But here's going to be the agenda. The first call of the month, which I'm going to break the agenda today, but this is what the agenda is normally going to be. The first call of the month that we have together is going to be what we call our orientation call, because we have so many masters that are joining. We're over 100 members now, over 100. And we've got members that are joining all the time. You guys are bringing more masters over. So, and by the way, I've had a lot of conversation. I know it's kind of a crazy time. It doesn't feel like the right time to be talking to people about switching or coming over to Mentorship Masters. But the reality is people are seeing, hey, we've been doing virtual stuff. We've been doing this. I've been meeting with you guys for at least a year already. So we already know how to do this. And so those conversations keep coming up and Mentorship Masters continues to grow. So the first Thursday, we're going to do an orientation where I'm going to walk you guys through every single nuance of Mentorship Masters. Because I guarantee you, there's people that have been here for a year and they're still not taking advantage of the full buffet of benefits that they have as a Mentorship Master. And especially for our newer members, just kind of a place where you can get to know everything that you're entitled to. Okay, so that'll be the first week. The second week is when we're going to do disc profiling. Okay, disc profiles. Because, I've had every single one of you guys take your disc, but I've never really walked you through the disc. Okay. Uh, yeah, Pamela says that would be me. Yeah, you've joined the group, but you really haven't. Maybe you haven't gotten into the portal. You haven't gotten into a lot of the different things that we have. I was talking to a member just today that's joined us several months ago. She hasn't really even been playing on the Mentorship Masters workplace page. Okay, so there's a lot of benefits that we have, guys, that I'm going to be helping you with. What's up? What's up? We got Aaron in the house. Aaron's another one that we need to get him into, but some of these benefits. So what I'm going to do, we're going to flop these around because I want to have more fun on today's call. I know it's not been fun. You guys are cramped up. You're on quarantine like I am, and it's not been fun. So I want to make this call a little bit more fun. And then next week we'll have our orientation call. So that may not be appropriate for everybody to attend, but I guarantee you, even if you think you know everything about Mentorship Masters, you're going to learn something new at these calls that we have. So that'll be the first 2 calls, and then we're going to figure out what the curriculum will be for the last 2. So we'll try to do probably 4 calls a month. Sometimes it might be 3. We'll figure that out. The other thing that Josie gave me a great idea today is that some of our masters, soon we're going to start having an elite master program, right? The elite. I don't like classes. There's no such thing as class, right? Scripture says that we're all the same. There's no Jew, there's no Greek, there's no male, there's no female. We're all equal in Christ. So, all right. So we're going to be talking DISC today, and that's DISC. Now I'm going to erase this in case I need to use it. The DISC, that's what we're going to be talking about, guys. DISC. And let me put this up there so you guys can see it. DISC. By the way, if you've got, because David Speedy had asked me this question last time, if we're going to keep the same Zoom number. So you've got the Zoom number to this room here. That's going to be the same probably for the next 12 months. Okay. So just make sure you protect that, record it, keep that Zoom. That way you don't have to figure out, okay, what's the new Zoom link for this week? Okay. So there's a separate Zoom link for our Knolly Success coaching call. Yeah, I know it's a lot to take in, but I'm kind of figuring this out just like you guys are. All right. So DISC. What I wanted to do on our DISC time together is just, I'm going to walk you through kind of the nuts and bolts of DISC, understanding yourself, okay? And then I'm going to take volunteers who would like for me to read their DISC profile, because that's something that is kind of a fun thing to do, but we've never really had time to do it because we've been bogged down by so much of the training. And what I'm going to ask, I see you guys are already putting your profiles in. That's good. If per chance you have the actual printout of your profile, and some of you guys don't even know how to get it, so let me show you how to do that right now. Let me share my screen. And for those of you that don't even know, some of you guys don't even know what I'm talking about when I say DISC. Okay, let me see. Let me cancel that. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to go to the portal. And this is the portal that you guys, I'll go through this on the orientation to kind of walk you through the Mentorship Masters portal. But this is a veritable playground. It's like a candy store of all things Knolly training, if you will. Okay, so if you go through here, you'll notice, I won't go through all this today, but if you go to the link that says Knolly Tools and Resources, okay, that's the one you want to click on. And then you want to go down here to where it says DISC Profile Test. Okay, click on that. And then you're going to, from there, you're going to be able to take, now if you've never logged in, most of you guys have already logged into the portal. This is our success portal for Mentorship Masters. If you haven't logged into this, then I'll teach you how to do that next week on our call together. So you'll see a red button here that says take the free online DISC test now. Okay, And that's going to take you now. I've seen a lot of people take this DISC test from other places like Tony Robbins. I love Tony. But I got to tell you, the DISC profile test that Tony has does not compare to this DISC Personality Test Pro that you can get at 123test.com. Okay. I just like it a lot better. It's much easier to do. You can do it on a smartphone, and then the results look much prettier, the final results that you get. Okay. So those of you that already have your DISC profile and you'd like for me to take a look at it for you, be on standby for that. If you actually have the printout of it, or you could show it to me on your screen, or you can make a screenshot of it and just post it. I think you can do that. Yeah, you can post it here in the chat. It's going to be better than if you just tell me you're an SC, or if you're a DC, or an IS, or a DI. Because if I see the actual that actual page with the graph on it, it'll allow me to actually look at what percentage you are of each profile. Now, let me show you something else real quick. Let me share my screen again. And then I'm going to open it up. I'm going to share with you guys why it's so important to understand this. And then I'm going to open it up for you guys. Okay, so I have open a couple of things. Let me open this other one first. So this is a PDF that I have, and I'll make sure you guys have copies of these. This one is just called DISC Basics, okay? And it's putting it all together. So if you just want a really good basic primer, this one is it, okay? The DISC, D for dominance, I for influence, C for conscientious, and S for steadiness, okay? And that's gonna, it tells you your strengths, your limitations, and some examples of famous people that share this particular personality profile, okay? Now then I've got for you a cheat sheet, okay, which I really like this one. Let me open this up better. Okay, so this cheat sheet will show you actually from a managerial standpoint how to deal with the different personality profiles, okay? So most of you guys, when I get to know you, I already know what your DISC profile is even without looking at it. But I've been studying this I took my first DISC profile when I was about 20 years old. And interestingly enough, my wife and I were going to the same church, okay? So they had this class called Understanding Your Personality, knowing the strengths or the forces within you, or something like that. I still have a copy of my results. And I think Josie has a copy of hers. So we were going to the same church together at the time when this seminar came to our church. And we actually did this together before we were married, okay? And really for married couples, it really helps to understand the personality profile of your partner so that you can kind of overlook their quirkiness, okay? Their quirkiness. I have a buddy of mine, he used to call it that he would give people a pass. And what he meant was he would say, man, that's just John. I give him a pass. He gets a pass. So in other words, John is that guy that it doesn't matter what he does. He just gets a pass because we all know he's that way. That's just John, you know. So the reason I like this particular rendition of it is because it says, like, if you're a high D, here's how they talk. Here's what they do. Here's what they want from others. Here's you should try to, and then it tells you what you should try to do with a D. Be ready for this, okay? For a D, you're going to be ready for blunt, demanding approach, lack of empathy, lack of sensitivity, you know? And how to manage your high Ds, okay? This is very helpful for me because many of you guys are high Ds that I don't really manage, but I help to coach and train and teach you guys into your ultimate greatness. So guys, it has the same thing for high Is, what they do, how they talk. For like the high I is going to be animated, lots of facial expressions, spontaneous. They laugh out loud. They're stylish, dress, etc. Okay, and then it goes on into high S's, and then it goes into the high C's. Okay, now I got to say, if you guys really want to kind of see this, by the way, those are PDFs that I have available. I'm going to make them available in our Mentorship Masters group. Oh, I like your background, Lucas. That's nice. I like that. Boy, I'm at the upgrade. So, for, what I'm going to do for you guys is, if you'd like to, I know you guys would want these tools, so I'm just going to make them available for you. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to actually make them available in our Mentorship Masters portal, and I'm going to make them available on our Facebook group. Now, the cool thing, our workplace group. Now, the cool thing is, with our portal, is anytime you guys tell me something. Now, I know that it's hard to find stuff in that portal. I know, Uncle Knolly knows, but it's a library. Get to understand it, get to know it. If something doesn't make sense to you, reach out to me and let me know, hey, man, this doesn't make sense. And then I can maybe reclassify it, maybe create another section, or make it more understandable. Because we have so many things there that it becomes harder to find, because it's a huge, big old library. All right, so you guys are already posting your stuff. So let me see. Okay, so I got a lot of volunteers here. Yeah, Pamela says she can't wait to take her test. Now, another thing that I don't like is the word test. Okay, it is what we call it, guys. It's called a test. But it's really not a test, it's an assessment. Okay. And by the way, when it comes to your aptitude, don't worry, because you can succeed in real estate no matter what your profile is. Okay. I do not have the right profile for a mega agent, but I'm still very highly successful in the game, even though I don't have that profile. So don't worry about that piece of it. Okay. So, who's got their thing ready for me? I'm going to go to Charles Lee. Only reason I'm going to him is because he he helped me with a deal this morning. I couldn't make it because I had the other commitment. I had to get ready for my class that I teach earlier in the day. And so Charles actually went and did a walkthrough. What's up, brother? Appreciate you, man. Thank you for doing that. And so deals are still going on, guys. He did a walkthrough. That's a builder property. I didn't tell you this, Charles, but they pay 5%, dude, at that builder. So if you go and you get your client into something at that builder, they actually pay 5%. And by the way, if you were in on the class earlier today, you'll learn that new home construction is going to be one of the top niches going forward. Okay, so let me get into Charles's deal here. And it's okay, yes, Charles, for me to share this with everybody? Do I have a yes on that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. So let me share my screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. Okay, so this is Charles's disc profile, and you can see this particularly, the 1, 2, 3 test is absolutely free. I'm amazed at it still, that they make it free to everybody to take that. So let me see, what did I do? Okay, here we go. And the reason why I like to just, if Charles was to say, hey, I'm a CD, which is what Charles is. If he said, hey, I'm a CD, it's not as informative as me seeing his actual numbers. Okay, so Charles has 10% on steadiness. He has he's got 16% of the influencer. Okay, so, and then he has he's basically a CD. He's got about even amounts. This is his compliance chart up here. And then this is his dominance chart right here. So the CDs, when we get into a C, so let me just write this down, and then I'm gonna share it, so a C, Charles is a CD. Okay, and probably about equal parts of both. By the way, if you guys ever want to get something like this on steroids, Artemis Prime has, and I know, Charles, you've already taken it, but Artemis Prime has this whole program where he will really, it's like on steroids. Okay, it's called Wealth Dynamics, where it really goes in much deeper into who you really are. The disc is kind of more of a scratch of the surface, but it's pretty good to start, especially if you don't have the money to do one of the flow consultations or something like that. So Charles is a CD. Okay, so C, even though I like to say C is compliance. Okay. Um, Most people don't call it that. They call it, let me see what they call it here. I've always called it compliance. And you could also call it compliant. Conscientious is what, by the way, different ones call it different things. Yeah, conscientious is what most people say. They're going to be very orderly, meticulous, precise, etc. So with Charles, as being a CD, he's going to come off. The best word to describe Charles would be kind of like a robot. Okay. So for example, Gary Keller. This is Gary Keller's profile. Those of y'all that know who Gary Keller is, Gary's a DC or a CD, and that's basically his profile. These people make really good like CFOs. They make really good because here's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with compliance, okay, and you're dealing with dominance, okay. Compliance and dominance, okay. These people also can make like president of the United States kind of people. The challenge that they'll have is if they have a low I, like Charles has, okay, is with a low I, you're really not going to want to do a lot of social stuff, okay. So the social things are going to be things that are kind of a waste of time for you. You're not really going to like to have like a lot of small talk, small chatter, like just the kind of small talk where we just warm it up. Hey Wade, you're screen sharing. We can see your screen. Yeah, there you go. And so what happens is, and Wade, you might be trying to get me your disc profile. If you guys can just dump it into the chat, I can pull it up that way. You take a screenshot of it and you dump it in the chat. So when you have a high I, see, and here's the thing, there's no wrong profile. Okay. So somebody like Charles, this is why Charles is going to make an excellent probate specialist. Okay. Why? Because this is kind of a profile of an attorney as well. Okay. Now you do have some attorneys that have a high I, like the life of the party. I's are like the life of the party. They always like whereas a C is more of a compliance person. They like rules. They like structure. They like situations that are predictable. Okay. They like continuity. Okay. And with the D, they like to be in control. They like to feel like they're in control. They like to they immediately come to a situation with solutions. Like, hey, in other words, some people might feel like they're trying to dominate the conversation. Okay. But they're not like super people, they're not like people, you know what I'm saying? So in the real estate profession, somebody that's a CD might feel like they would have a very difficult time succeeding in real estate. But the reason for that is because a CD would not make a good buyer agent, okay, for example. Now, in some ways they would be, okay? Not in the ways where like, hey, how are your kids doing in school? You could kind of bring that up, through force, but it's not really something that a CD cares about. They don't really care about how your kids are doing or anything like that. I mean, it's nothing, no judgment in that. It's just the way they're wired, okay? So a CD, what a CD will bring to the table is, man, they're going to have the stats, they're going to have the statistics, and they're going to be able to negotiate a good deal, and they're pretty going to be unemotional about the outcome. Okay, a CD would work excellent with working with investors, because with the investors, it's just numbers. They don't really care. There's no emotion. So the emotional side of real estate, by the way, 90% of real estate is an emotional game. It's emotion. Okay. So it's complete emotion. You got emotions of the buyer, emotions of the seller. Okay. And so a CD has a unique um, possibility or potentiality to remove themselves completely from the emotional game and just look at the figures, the facts and the figures. Does it make sense or not? Period. It's done. So they're not really emotionally involved. They're not really emotionally attached to that. Now, here's the thing. A CD, a lot of times what a CD will do is they'll actually partner with, and I always tell people this, understand where you're weak and partner with others who are strong in those areas. Okay. So a CD would do well with somebody that's like an IC or CI. Okay. If you ever got to the place where you had to hire someone, okay, then that would be now. What's going to be challenging for you, Charles, when it comes to like say hiring somebody like Christy to do your paperwork, is because, by the way, these two profiles kind of are a little bit diametrically opposed to each other. Okay, so the D, the C and the D together is not a real common profile, by the way, very uncommon in real estate. And so the D has a tendency to just go off half cocked. Like a D will go out, like I always say, man, they're rolling. They got the guns with. It's like we go into a battle. They got their gun with them, but they forgot to bring bullets. Okay, because they're just ready, man. It's ready, fire, aim. That's how D's are. But the C is the exact opposite. Okay, so you have as a CD, you got a little Jekyll and Hyde thing going, where in one way you can be very, very compliant, and in another way you can just be very like kind of half cocked on some things that you do. You see, so this is going to be anyway. The whole key to this, guys, is just we have fun with it. We get to know ourselves. We get to know who we are, and you have about an equal balance of both. Charles, is that good? How we do? You got any questions around that? You can unmute yourself.
No, man, that's about right, actually. Yeah, I mean, I don't like small talk. I don't like parties, stuff like that.
You don't like people, Charles. Let's just say it.
Yeah, I don't like people. What am I doing here? No, I love people. It's just I don't like it's if I go to a party or something like that, I don't want to be the one standing around talking. It's just small talk. I can't really get into it. So. Yeah, I mean, I like plans, I like procedures, I like processes, I like to build those, I like
systems.
Systems, absolutely.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing: systems drive a D absolutely crazy. See,
I know that's weird, huh?
So it's very weird. It's very weird. And I have a profile that has a diametric opposition to it as well. So I get that. I get that. So sometimes you'll find yourself going one way. The good thing is that you can adapt. Okay, so you can go completely into D mode. Like if you're negotiating a contract, man, we're going D on you. Like where'd this guy come from?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you can adapt. You can adapt. Did you have any other questions around this?
No, you started to say something like you wouldn't want to get with somebody like Christy. Is that a different?
Oh, here's the problem. Here's the problem. I'm not calling Christy out. I'm just saying anybody that does contract to close, okay, you're going to be very because a person that has a lot of C, okay, is really good at doing their own contract to close, okay, because they have that high compliance factor. So you're good. You love systems, so you go into SkyScope, you got all your systems. I mean, it's good, okay. The problem with that, the challenge in that is that you might not think you need somebody like Christy because you know how to do it, maybe even better than she does, okay, or better than somebody else can do it because you have, like if you were an SC, forget it. You ain't letting nobody touch your paperwork. You know what I'm saying? The problem with that is that you're not doing dollar productive activities, okay?
Yeah.
And the D is very well known, and the C both. For getting well, the D is less of it, but the C is very well known for doing administrative work. Like you'd make a good admin, but your D would not let you stay in an admin position very long. See what I'm saying? But you're good at it. You're good at it. So somebody that comes along and says, "Hey, can I help you with your paperwork?" You may not appreciate that because you're good. You're so good at it yourself. Which most agents, I just tell them, don't have anything to do with your paperwork. Do your first 2 or 3 deals and never touch it again. But with you can actually do your own paperwork and do really, really well at it. But then you'll find yourself in a rabbit hole of not doing more productive activities.
Yeah, you're saying I can do it, but I probably shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly.
I got you.
Focus on dollar productive activities. That's your key.
Got it.
You.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate you. Thanks for volunteering for that. Okay, so who is next? Melinda. Let me grab Melinda here real quick. And then ShaRhanda, we're going to go to you next.
Hey there.
What's up, Melinda? How you doing?
I'm excited.
All right. And here's the thing, you guys have been asking me like, okay, Nolly, we did our disc, now what? And so um, I'm excited to be able to do this for you guys as well. So now I can see, let me see what I got here. Yeah. Yep, here it is. Okay, so, and I know most of you guys, I probably already have yours, but thanks for posting them here. If you can't find yours and you think I have it, and if we don't get to you today, don't worry about it because we're going to be doing this the second Thursday of every month. And by the way, it just helps you guys to understand yourself better, and make sure your partner does this as well because it'll be very helpful to see what their thing is too. All right, so Melinda, let me share my screen, and let's look here. Is this yours? Yeah, here we go. And you're okay with me sharing this, right, Melinda? Yes. I can't hear you. I think you're muted. Okay. So this is Melinda's, guys. Okay, so Melinda is 40% S. Okay, let me write that down. S, 40%.
And yes, I'm okay with it. My screen went down.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're an SD, okay? So you're an SD, and you've got some C in there pretty good too. You're an SDC, okay? So that's 40, let me see these numbers, 40, 29, 22. 40, 29, 22. And then your I is 9, okay? All right, so essentially, and see how I just love how pretty the format is of this 1, 2, 3 test. And I love that they make it free. It's amazing. It's actually a college that put that whole program together and they just decided to make it free to everybody. It's really cool. So here's Melinda, okay? Melinda. All right, so Melinda also kind of like what we talked about with Charles is, and I know this is hard to see for some of you guys. It fades in and out with the, I guess you can see it okay. So Melinda also has a very low I, okay? Just embrace it, okay? Just say, hey, I don't have a lot of I. So don't get caught up in that, and please, if anything you can do, if I can relay this and nothing else, do not try to be who you are not. See, God wired each one of us differently. Okay, let me share a quote with you guys that I found very helpful. Okay, everyone is a genius. Okay, everyone is a genius. But if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life thinking that it is stupid. Okay, when you get into DISC, this is not about judging you or comparing you to anyone else. This is saying, who am I? Okay, that's it. That who am I? Who did God make me to be, right? And so the fact that you have a low I just means that you're not going to find yourself very comfortable. Now, by the way, you got to take, when you do these personality profiles, you have to answer them correctly. And I know a lot of people, you guys didn't do this, I'm sure, but a lot of people will actually answer these in a way that they, like if they're going for a job interview, or people that I've hired before, I say, hey, take this personality. And I think that they're kind of answering them according to what they think I want to know about them, or like for the job. So you never do that. Always just answer them truthfully, because you really want to know, how you're wired, okay? And there's a uniqueness. Remember in Genesis, God says, it is not good for man to be alone. We all need each other. So wherever you're so-called weak, okay, others are strong in those areas. So in S, that's going to be what we call steadiness, okay? The steady. And an S typically likes a routine, okay? A high S, I had a guy working for me that was a high S, and he had the same restaurants that he ate at every single week, okay? So Monday he would eat at this place. Tuesday he would eat at that place. Wednesday he'd eat at this place. I mean, he liked routine, okay? He liked to have predictability. He liked things to be very predictable, Okay. The S's are very steady. So an S is going to be somebody like a CPA. Okay. It's going to be an accountant. Somebody that's with numbers. Okay. Why? Because numbers are steady. They don't lie. It's like a language. This person's going to be very comfortable in that domain. They're going to like spreadsheets.
That's what I used to do for a living.
What's that? What'd you do?
I used to work with the comptroller for Cisco Foods.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Yeah. See, a person with you, Melinda, as an S, you're okay going and doing the same job every day for 30 years, and doing this and having a routine. And as long as things don't get too weird and too crazy, you're good. You're good, right? That's that high S. Okay. Now the D, where the D comes into play, is the D. The D comes out and says, the D knows how to put the hammer down, right? So sometimes, go ahead.
I used to be a manager. Oh,
okay, there you go. There you go. Yeah, see, what happens with a D is a lot of times with an SD is a lot of times people are very fearful of them, okay? The good thing about a SD is that people know what to expect of you. You're not unpredictable. So they know that, hey, as long as we operate within certain parameters, we know Melinda's going to be okay. But we know that if we get outside this box, the D is going to come out. And the D is that little bit of not necessarily a beast, but it's more of a assertive, very assertive. Okay. And a lot of times the S's don't like to click into the D, but when they get into it, there it is. It's you're done who let the D out, And so this person can come across as very blunt, very straightforward, very sometimes opinionated, but very, because this person knows what they like and most people don't. Okay. So Melinda, most people in this world don't even know what they want. Okay. 70% of Americans, according to a Gallup poll, 70%, and this is probably higher now, either hate or dislike their jobs. So they don't even know what they want to do. Whereas an S knows exactly typically what they want, or when they lock in, when they start doing what they like, they feel very comfortable. Now, the challenge of an S in real estate, because the typical mega real estate agent profile is a DI. I'll just throw that out there, just so you guys know. You're like, well, what? Because some people are like, what should I be? You should be what you are. That's what you should be, okay? But the typical mega agent profile is a DI. So an S, when they come in here into one of the challenges that you're going to have, Melinda, is dealing with other real estate agents, okay? Because most agents that are DIs are just not going to be your cup of tea. They got the high, oh, hey, how's it going? And a lot of times women that are female, they may not feel as feminine, right? Because they don't have that high I going. And a lot of these realtor functions, okay, you're not going to be a good fit, or you're not going to love going to a lot of these realtor functions where the prissy girls are up there. Hey, how's it going? Hey there, because you don't really feel like that. That's not you, right? And so you're gonna be. But the cool thing though for your clients, okay, there's really no pros and cons. It's just knowing how you operate. With your clients, they're gonna love it. They're gonna love it because they know that when they're dealing with you, the facts have checked out. You got all the information, and they're getting the real deal. Okay, and you got the C that's pretty high there too. So your SC, your admin skills, okay, are very, very high. So you're going to have, like, if you're a manager and you have an assistant, you're going to have a very low tolerance for that person being inadequate or incompetent at their job. Why? Because you actually could probably do their job 5 times better than they can, because you have SC that's rocking pretty strong, and your D is pretty strong. You see what I'm saying? So it's a very, very, very beautiful profile for the real estate game. Now, what you're going to want to focus on, I'm going to let you talk, but what you're going to want to focus on is things that don't have to deal with emotion too much as well. You know what I'm saying? Things that are a bit more predictable, more things that you can control better. So a niche for you would be something that like pre-NODs would probably be the perfect niche. Notice of defaults, okay? Pre-foreclosures. When we did short sales, Patilynn and I did tons of short sales back in the day. You would have the very perfect profile for doing short sales. Why? Because they're tedious, they're monotonous, but you know what to expect. You know what to expect. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I would say you pretty much hit it on top. Yeah.
Okay.
By what you said, because I do love taking care of my clients.
Yeah.
That's my goal everything I do. I just cleaned, I had a closing, and this Saturday I couldn't have them come in from Idaho. So I went and cleaned their house,
Wow.
had lunch ready by the time they got there.
Wow.
And so I like doing those things for them.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know.
Yeah. I love it, Melinda. So you just surprised them with that?
Yeah, I try to do things for all my clients, like something different. Like when they're purchasing new homes, if it doesn't come with ceiling fans, I'll purchase all the ceiling fans for them.
Wow.
So that's usually what I do. Yeah.
Wow. And there's also a side of you though that because so I had a gal working for me for Barbara, Patilynn, you probably remember Barbara. I hired her when I was 8 months in the business. 8 months. I mean, just wet behind the ears. And I hired Barbara full time. And at the time she started working for me, I think she was 62 when she started working for me. Okay. And she worked for me for like 14 years. And Barbara had more or less kind of this profile, right? And we called her the bulldog. Because I tell you, Barbara was nice, boy. She'd take good care of you. But if you're on the wrong side of the deal, boy, I say, you know what? I'm done talking to you. You talking to Barbara now. You're done. Yeah, that's it. So I love it. I love it, Melinda. And here's
I call my husband.
What's that?
He's the bulldog because he's a former Marine.
Oh, is he? Okay. That's interesting. I'm going to guess you guys have a very role-based marriage.
We've been married for over 30 years.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's my best friend.
That's awesome.
And
so
he's getting his license.
Do you know what his profile is?
No, I don't, but I want him to do this now.
Yeah. So let's just assume his profile is very close to yours. Sorry, I'm getting Woo. Let's just say that his profile is very close to yours. If it is, the way that you guys have stayed together is through what we call roles. And Josie and I are like this. We have a very role-based. What I'm drinking, guys, look at that. One of these powdery, my wife has some powder in here. Just hit me the wrong way. So, but when you have a role-based, in other words, here's what role-based means. It means like I take care of the business, she takes care of the household, okay? And it's not that we can't cross into each other's lane, but in order for us to because if you have two bulldogs in the same family, in order for them to really, there has to be a high understanding of who does what, right? So that's that. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see his profile. Now here's also, Melinda, where something like what Artemis teaches with wealth dynamics. Okay, that's you got to pay for that. So it's let's wait till we start making money, right? But with wealth dynamics, it really takes this and puts it really on steroids so you can understand yourself at a much deeper level. I think Charles would probably agree with that because Charles took wealth dynamics, and there's only so much that we can see on the disc that with wealth dynamics, it just opens it up much bigger. Did you have any other questions around this, Melinda?
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Charles,
I have a comment to make.
Yeah, go ahead.
I recently met Melinda's husband. I think it was in December, and he's quite a jokester. He likes to joke around, prank around, and keep people laughing. I guess you would say he's probably a people person because he wants people to laugh. He doesn't want them to be in the dumps, and sad and everything. So he's a real fun guy to be around.
I love it. So, yeah. So here, Christy and Melinda. So your husband probably has a very high amount of I. Okay, and this is where the old saying says opposites attract. So your I is at 9%. Okay. So his I is probably much, much, much higher. I mean, and and that's great. That's great. So that's cool. I love it. Okay. Who else can I? Charles, what do you think between, you've already seen Wealth Dynamics, what would you say kind of the major differences are?
It's certainly more detailed on, the type of person you are. And then, I mean, this, in the disc, it'll tell you kind of like you're going through here. You have to, you have to kind of interpret what it means to you. That one will go into much more detail on, specifically the type of person you are and the type of people you work better with. And just, how to kind of structure what you do on a daily basis to really fit your profile better.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Okay, so I promised ShaRhonda that I would do hers next. So here's ShaRhonda. Let me pull up ShaRhonda's. And then ShaRhonda, is it okay? You're okay with me pulling up your information and sharing it with everybody, with the world? Yes?
Yes.
All right. So ShaRhonda has a little different graph. Which one did you, this is good. I like this, actually. It's really, really nice. Did you take the same one, the 1, 2, 3, or is this is one that you already had?
I did both, and this one is I think Tony Robbins might have changed his.
Okay.
The one that's on his website now.
This is on the Tony. Yeah, so this is actually good. This will work. So if the Tony Robbins one is like this, here, let me show you guys what I'm looking at. Then it is still good to go. I saw a recent Tony Robbins one that I didn't, it wasn't as detailed as this. So, all right, so this is ShaRhonda. And by the way, this is another thing that we do whenever we, a lot of times when we're sharing with people their DISC profile, is that, and let me just throw this out there. Usually on these calls, guys, I'll have time to do maybe 3 or 4 of these. It's okay, because everybody will actually get something out of it, even if you're not, if I'm not talking directly to you, if you're going to kind of understand better what these profiles are and how to interact with people that have them, especially people that when you start hiring people or working with other people, or even if you don't even have them take the profile, you'll be able to see and say, oh yeah, that guy's probably a high I, or maybe he's an S or whatever. So in some of these profiles, you'll see that they have adaptive, like this one says, can you see that? Can you guys see that? Yeah, there it is. So you have an adapted style and a natural style. So the natural style is the style that you actually is going to be closer to who you really are. And the adapted style is how you show up to the marketplace. Okay, how do you show up to your clients, your customers, to people in general? And your natural style is, if you could just let it all loose and just be you, okay, you had nobody to please, this is the natural style, is who you are, who you really are. So again, you're an SC, we can see that. So you're, let me see. And by the way, some of these, you'll notice that with the Tony Robbins system and a lot of systems, they actually will put a percentile, instead of actually having 100% and it adding up, they'll actually have percentages of what percentage you are of each profile. You can literally be 100% of every single one of them. I've never seen that before, but again, it's just a different way of calculating it. So ShaRhonda's natural style is SC, okay, with a lower D in there, okay, the D. Now, what happens is in her adapted style, you see this yellow graph, she actually can pull up her I when she needs to, okay, and that's when it comes to dealing with people, dealing with clients, dealing with customers, going to functions, going to parties. She can pull that I up and it's there, but it's not a naturally it's not a natural trait, it's an adapted trait. So let me write yours down, ShaRhonda, and it's almost probably real similar to Charles, actually. It must be that I attract, because well, I won't say what mine is. This is y'all's time, but it seems like I'm attracting people that are similar to me. So let's look at this. You're an SC, both about 80%. So SC. And then your D is about 40%. Okay. And then your I is about 20% naturally, 19%. Okay. So let's look at that, and let's look at that, ShaRhonda. So this is you right here. You're erase this. Okay, so erase this. So this is you. You're SC, and then you've got some D. You got D there that you can bring up if you need to, and then your I, you can bring up, but it's a bit of work for you to bring the I up. So an SC, that's more or less your core profile, okay, with a low D. So your high S is what we call high S and high C, okay. So this individual is going to be very systems oriented, okay. They're going to love anything systems, or actually kind of like the best of Melinda and the best of Charles combined, okay. So anything that has to do with steadiness, or what we call conscientiousness or compliance. This person's going to also like spreadsheets. They're also going to be, this is an admin, by the way, okay. This is, and by the way, if you're in real estate and you are an SC or a CS, you're what I call a glorified admin. Okay, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. You're basically an administrator. That's what you are. Okay, you're an admin. And so the challenge for somebody that's in this profile, there's a couple challenges. One is that this person is not naturally suited to dealing with people. In other words, if this person, not that you don't like people, let's not get this twisted or wrong. Okay, you like people. Okay, but you're just not suited. You're not naturally suited to a business, a practice that's surrounded by people. Okay, and ShaRhonda, I already know that you do a lot of REOs. Okay, and that this basically explains why you do that, why you do them, because REOs, real estate owned or foreclosures, are very systematic. They have processes, they have back ends, they have portals that you can log into, they have username and passwords, they have a lot of steadiness and predictability in around that whole system. Okay, you don't really have to deal with clients and their emotions. Go ahead, ShaRhonda.
Yeah, I was saying very little emotion.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with really the end client is non-emotional whatsoever. They just care about the numbers. Exactly. Okay, so they're speaking your language. Like when you're working with a bank, you guys are tracking. You guys are tracking the same way. You know what I'm saying? And also when it comes to when you get a high D that works the let's say this person was a high D trying to work the REO business. Guess what? Their invoices wouldn't be turned in on time. Their paperwork wouldn't be turned in on time and all that because they're just not adapted to this particular style. Okay. The challenge though with another challenge with an SC is that you're so good at systems and paperwork that it's going to be very difficult for you to seek help on the majority of the business. Okay, let me explain to you what I mean. Now, when I wrote the book Success with this is very important for you to understand this, ShaRhonda, because this is what will with the information I'm going to give you right now, you can double or quadruple your production. Okay, just hear me out on this. So I wrote this book called Success with Listings. Okay, now when you go through this, it's got a 46-step system for listings, for the listings game. 46 steps. Okay, now here's what I discovered. When I broke down my system for taking listings, is I discovered that they are 91.3% administrative. Okay. In other words, 91.3% of all activities that go into a listing are administrative in nature. Okay. Now, ShaRhonda, you eat that up like candy. Okay. Because you're speaking that's your language. Okay. But here's the problem. These are not dollar productive activities, okay? Administrative duties are non-dollar productive, okay? So the big challenge for you is going to be to call in on your D and say, hey, I need an admin because I could probably double or quadruple or triple my REO business if I wasn't so stuck in the minutia of the everyday paperwork and the just all the systems and stuff that you're really good at. Okay, so sometimes it's a curse when you're really good at something because you don't want to delegate it. Okay, but if you actually created And here's the thing. So 91.3, so that means only 9% of the duties on a listing, okay, are actually dollar productive activities, 9%. And if you really want to know the true number, if you took 46 activities, there's only 5 activities that you personally should be doing, and all the other 41 should be delegated, okay? The problem with an SC is they're not going to want to delegate those because they're going to be able to, 9 times out of 10, ShaRhonda, you're going to be able to do anything that you delegate better than anybody you delegate it to. Okay, so this is the challenge. And what you got to understand is it's not about who does it better. Nobody cares about that. Okay, when Jesus was upon the earth, he picked 12, miscreants, misfits. He picked 12 misfits. Now, here's a question. Do you think that Jesus Christ could have done the job better than those 12 that he picked? Yes. He could have run circles around them, right? He didn't need any of them. Right? So, but he still picked the 12. In other words, you need help. Okay. So they're not going to be as good as you. Just say that that's just the way it is. Doesn't mean they can't be really good. Okay. But they're going to be adequate. And this person that's an SC is a perfectionist. Okay. This is where we get into, remember this, perfection is the enemy of progress. That's Winston Churchill. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Okay. And this person, so anyway, the point is, I think I've said enough around this, but you have a very specific, meticulous, perfectionist style, and then you're going to have a very low view of most real estate agents. Let me just say that. You're going to have a dismal and low view of the aptitude of most agents. Why? Because to you, they're going to look incompetent. It's just the way it is, because compared to how you work, a DI is going to be highly incompetent, comparatively speaking. But that person might be doing 3 to 4 times your production. Okay, so we have to re-examine some things that we hold true. If that helps. Has that been helpful, ShaRhonda?
Yeah, it makes sense. I actually envy the DIs because I'm like, I wish I could get out there and be that huge people person like they are, but I am so comfortable behind my computer screen doing all the, like you said, admin stuff.
Yeah. So your challenge is going to be to bring up that D and just go out and get more business, and then maybe when you've got enough business, you'll have like for me, I'm basically like you. I'm an admin person. I'm an ISC. That's my profile. So what I had to do was had 4 admin people, and even now I have admin people that work for me, and they do all the stuff that I probably could do better than them. Okay, but it allows me to do other things that God has called me to do. Okay, very important to understand that. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm going to do one more. We're going to stay after class. I'm going to do one more. Olivia wants to know what builder is doing 5%. That is, I'll have to text you, Olivia. I don't remember the name.
D.R. Horton.
D.R. Horton in San Marcos. Okay. So those of you guys in Central Texas would know what we're talking about. If you're not, but I think more and more builders will start to be doing good deals like that too. Okay. Let me take Patilynn. And if I didn't get to you guys, I'm sorry. Or I apologize, but we will get some more of these. Remember, the second Thursday of every month, this is what we're going to do. We're going to spend time getting to know each other. Let me see if this is Patilynn. So we're going to.
Tony Robbins one.
Oh, is it? Okay.
But I can do the other one for the next time you do these.
I think it's. I don't think it's. I think it's fine, as long as it's a good. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is fine. This is good. This is good. Okay, so let me. And you might actually be. Yeah, you're basically just like me. You're a carbon copy of me, basically. So so there is hope. No, just kidding. There's hope for Patilynn. All right. So let me share my. You okay with me sharing this, Patilynn?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me share my screen. And okay, so this is Patilynn, guys. She's got the D in there, but she's an ISC basically, or she's probably an ICS is what it would be. So let me erase this. and we're going to go, she's an ICS, but really your I and your C are the same. So your ICS. Okay. So I got that 67 and 63. And then the D is a 35. Okay. So it looks to me too, Patilynn, that you're highly adaptive. And that may just have come from life experiences. Okay. That you've and maybe even from being a mother, a parent, a wife, etc. You'll find that women tend to be very highly adaptive, okay, because they have to carry so many hats. They have to have so many roles, right, in this world. So with Patilynn, and if this is you, if you're an ICS or an ISC, Patilynn has 67% of both the I and the C, so that's what we call a high I, a high C with also an S, and it's basically my profile. Okay, so the cool thing about this profile, well, let me just say the not so cool thing about it is that these two are going to be diametrically opposed profiles. Okay, so the CS, all the CS wants to do is stay home and read a book. They want to read a book. They want to write. They want to go within. They want to think. You know, like a CS would take a picnic just to go think. Like, what is that about? You think. I just want to go do some thinking. Like, are you doing anything? No, I'm just thinking. You're always in your head. Okay, you're always in your head, and you're always analyzing. Okay, we call it analysis paralysis. This person would be very difficult to make a selection on a menu. Okay, so what this person would actually do is just default to their favorite, like, oh yeah, I eat that. I like that meal here, because they like predictability also. Now the I likes to get out and have fun. Okay, so this is like the girl that just wants to stay on the farm. Okay. Wants to stay on the farm. This girl right here wants to see the world. Okay? Wants to go out, have adventures, see the world, meet people, greet people. So the idea, listen to this, the idea of going out and socializing, okay, is not going to be very appealing to an SC or the CS. Okay? So if somebody says, hey, let's go out and let's do, your immediate reaction could be, depending on where you're at, is to analyze, do I really want to go? Is it worth my time? How much time are we going to spend there? What time are we going to be back? What's the payoff? You're analyzing all these things. So what happens is a person is just an I going to be like, yeah, let's go have fun, right? So there's part of you that loves to have fun because you're high I. So in other words, when you get to the party, you're having fun. But the idea of going to the party is not so fun, so much fun, because you're thinking of all these other things that that you could be doing, right? And this person is going to be a lot of times manipulated or motivated by guilt. Okay, let me write that down. Guilt. Okay, guilt. And even when the CS is having fun, like they're at a party, they're thinking of things that they could be doing. You know, that like, oh man, I could actually be doing this. You know, so they're never really fully engaged. Not that you can't be, but it's very difficult for a high thinker to be fully engaged in fun. Now, we might have to get you a glass of wine, then we're good. It's all bets are off. We're good. Then we're good. You know, now we can just be the I that we are. You see what I'm saying? So what you're going to have to do, or what will be beneficial for you, Patilynn, is to work with switching. I call it switching. Okay. Because these roles are very difficult to exist at the same time. In fact, they're impossible really to exist at the same time. So you're going to have to switch from one to the other. Sometimes you're going to be the I, sometimes you're going to be the CS. Okay, and this person is very administrative as well. They're going to like you like short sales. They're going to like administrative stuff, behind the scenes stuff. But they also do like. There's a point at which you're like, man, I got to get out and meet and be around people because you get. If you're closed off too long in the closet, the girl that likes to play is going to want to come out, Okay. And so you're going to be very stifled just being in that same thing all the time, even though you're very comfortable with a routine and doing monotonous, but you got to interject it with a lot of playtime. Okay, playtime, very, very important. And when I learned that, that's when I started, you guys started seeing in my YouTube videos where I started traveling all over the world and doing all this kind of stuff that I never used to do before, because I knew, I started realizing that little boy was ready to come out and play. Okay, then I can go back in my cave for a couple of 2-3 weeks. You're actually, if you're in your CS right now, Patilynn, you have no problem being on quarantine. You have no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? But that eye is going to start scratching at you and be like, hey, we need to get out here and do something. So what do you think?
I think, oh my gosh, you're a genius. And your understanding of things just amazes me every time I hear you speak. But you're right. I mean, we've been sheltered at home since about March 6th. And the last 2 days, I'm like, I need some fun. I need to go do something fun. Yeah. And, so I've learned how to plant potatoes. I'm growing celery, things I never thought I would do, but yeah, I'm ready to have fun. So I'm going to go pour the wine when we hang up.
And look at this. It took you a month before you started going stir crazy. Now a DI would have been stir crazy in 2 days. See what I'm saying? In 2 days, they going bat blank crazy, right? So anyway, guys, I hope you guys can kind of see how fun this is. Thank you, Patilynn. Thanks and I've known Patilynn for 10 years, but we really haven't been able to kind of spend that close, intimate. I don't think I've ever really read your disc or anything like that. So thanks for allowing me to do that. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it too.
Yeah. So as you can see, guys, don't be afraid of who you are. See, God has wired each and every one of us uniquely and differently. And we're all just blessed beings. Okay. And if you understand who you are, how you operate, how you function, and better yet, if you understand your spouse, or your better half, or your partner, and you bring that into the mix, then you're like, oh, that's why you start giving them a pass. I say, oh, that, like I give Josie a pass. I'm like, oh yeah, that's Josie, she just gets a pass. Okay. You remember when you were in school and somebody would be like, well, why are you out in the hallway? You got a pass in your hand. You're like, oh, you're good. You just show them your pass. So there's going to be people that are not like you. Okay. Love them anyway. Okay. Cherish them, appreciate them for their quirkiness, and thank God the whole world. There was actually an episode of Twilight Zone. Don't recommend the series, by the way, but I went on a Twilight Zone binge years ago, and I watched every episode. Not recommended. But there's one episode where this guy was wishing that everybody would be just like him. Some of y'all might remember that episode. And so as it so happened, he was created this planet or world where everybody was exactly like him, and it drove him nuts. So just appreciate people for their idiosyncrasies, their uniqueness. Appreciate yourself. Stop beating yourself up. Stop being hard on yourself or comparing yourself with anyone else. You are exactly how God created you to be, and you're performing the function on the earth that you're here to function in. All you have to be concerned about is burgeoning into and blossoming into the full version of you that you're meant to be. Don't work on your weaknesses. Okay, let me say it again. Please do not work on your weaknesses. It doesn't work. Oh, I'm going to get more organized. I'm going to get better organized. No, just make more money and pay somebody that's organized to take care of that for you. Okay, that's what I teach and believe, because our profile, guys, is our profile. It does no good to try to. Now, I'm not saying that if you're not a good public speaker, you can become a little better at it, but don't think that you're going to create a miracle out of yourself from your personality profile when it's much easier to just work with who you are. Be you. Be the you that you are. All right. I hope that was helpful for somebody. Charles Lee says, don't compare your inside to other people's outside. Ooh, I like that. And ShaRhanda says, unless you're an SC and then you need to work on your weaknesses or you will die poor. Yeah, but your strength, ShaRhonda, is the SC. Okay, that's your strength. So just become a rockin' SC, and then you hire the DIs. Okay, this is what Lance Loken does. So Lance Loken sells over 1,000 houses a year, but he's more of the profile like you, ShaRhonda. So he doesn't actually even go on listing appointments. He doesn't spend time meeting clients. That's not his strength. He does the behind the scenes. He does all the systems. Okay, like me, I do the funnels, and then you send somebody out to be on the front, front and center or whatever. Patilynn loved it. ShaRhonda thought it was wonderful, really good stuff. All right, until next time, guys, you guys go out there and be productive. If you have any questions for Uncle Knolly, post them out to the Facebook group. Don't forget to have your disc profile handy so that we can put you on the hot seat next time. All right, now next week, we're going to go into the orientation for our Mentorship Masters, where I'm going to show you all the behind the scene goodies that you have access to that you probably don't know about or probably not utilizing. All right, love y'all. That's it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Until then, laters.